So why do people have such a difficult time breaking through a plateau? Why did the plateau happen in the first place? Well, that's what we're going to explore here in a second. Go ahead and click below if you would like a free strategy session down below. This will get you a health history and a full-blown assessment with one of the coaches out here at Grid Gym, one-on-one. This will allow you to have individual guidance in what you're trying to do pushing forward. And obviously we want you to sign up, but if you don't, no harm, no foul, all's well, we just want to help. So what is it? What is it with these plateau things? Why in the world do people end up hitting them and then not being able to push through them, right? It's a big problem. From a fat loss standpoint, from a performance standpoint, from a strength training standpoint, from a joint health standpoint, I mean, physical therapists deal with this, nutritionists deal with this, strength coaches deal with this, personal trainers deal with this, you deal with this. And it's not really all that hard. I mean, the big reason, and just to make it super, super simple, is because people make all this progress, right? And then it's like a refusal. It's like they just can't believe that they got to go all the way back to the beginning to start over, to build up, to be able to go past where they are now. It's like, no, I should just be able to go from, I built up to here, I should just be able to drop down a little bit and come back up. And they just keep playing in this game. When really you need to drop like clear down, like way down deep to be able to come back up here. And to illustrate this, there's a story of Milo. He's a Greek wrestler back in the day. It kind of, goes over the idea of incremental overload. So what Milo would do is you would pick up a calf every single day, right? You'd pick up a young calf probably weighs 50 pounds, the next day it weighs 53, the next day it weighs 56, the next day it weighs 59, then 62, and it just keeps on getting bigger and bigger, right? So every day he picks it up until he can't pick it up anymore, and then he starts over with a new calf that's younger, right? Now the genius of this is not the incremental overload. The incremental overload is super simple. It's like, okay, duh, yes, of course he got stronger as he went along, picking up that calf, he got stronger and stronger and stronger. Amazing things. That's incremental overload. That's that first, you went from here to here, right? What about the plateau? All of a sudden he can't pick that calf up anymore. And he's gonna keep trying to pick that calf up, and he can't, right? So most people, what they do, they go and they got up to where the calf was 150 pounds. And then they go and pick up another calf that's like 140, and they can't pick that one up either. And then they drop down to 130, and then they drop down to 120, and they're like, why can't I pick up this calf? And then maybe they can pick up the 120 calf, and they build up back up, but they can't, they just keep on topping out at that 150 calf, right? The reason is, and the genius of the Milo story, isn't that he did the incremental overload over the time of the calf growing. The genius is that he went back to a young calf that weighed 50 pounds and built right back up to and kept picking up that same calf. So think of that. He took all this time to get stronger, and then he plateaued, and he couldn't pick up the calf anymore. And then he goes all the way back so that he can have a better trajectory. This is what holds people back from these plateaus. It happens over and over and over again. You have to change the speed of the bar or the speed of the weight or whatever the thing is. And this is what keeps you, like after 50, this is a huge deal because this is one of the ways that people get injured. They like go into these gyms and they're like, I'm just gonna hammer and hammer and hammer. Look how great a shape I am, but my joints feel like crap. My shoulder's falling off, my elbows falling to pieces, my knees having trouble walking up a flight of stairs. Not to say that you're not gonna have some joint pain along the way or that things don't happen or that we're going to fix you. That's not the point. The point is that prevention, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So if we just prevent you getting hurt, then you're probably less likely to get hurt. And even if you did end up getting hurt, like you tripped over something in a parking lot somewhere and you fell down, you hurt your elbow. Okay, well, do you want to be in really good shape when you hurt that elbow, or do you want to be in not really good shape when you hurt that elbow? So, but the point of this is plateaus. The big thing you want to do, you hit a plateau, you got to go all the way back down to the beginning. And then you build your way back up. You go all the way back down to the beginning. This is like what the deloads that we do out here at Grid Gym. So the first week is a deload where you're only doing 2 sets of each exercise. And then the last week you might be doing 4. I'm just throwing arbitrary numbers out there. You might be doing 4 sets of each exercise at a much heavier weight. Why would we do that first 2 weeks? Because the next week after, the week before that, so the week before you did your deload, you had that 4 sets of a heavier exercise, and you drop way down to like nothing. It's like, these weights are so light. Why are we doing this so light? Because last week we were doing them and they were so heavy. So you need that deload. That's why people have such trouble breaking through plateaus and how you can use it. So just set the ego aside. Don't go from the 150 pound calf to the 120 pound calf. Go all the way from the 150 pound calf down to the 50-pound calf. I hope that made sense, and if it didn't, you can write down below and tell me how much it didn't. But anyway, if you would like an individualist, an individual assessment and guidance on what would be your initial priorities, please go ahead and click the link below and we'll help out as best we can.